annoying.
Let's take down the vlog squad.
Let's
fucking take them all down. Let's dismantle the vlog squad empire.
I just think David Dobrik. Now, I've been criticized for not covering this story for about 2 weeks. They've been trying to cancel David Dobrik. We're talking about H3 and Trisha.
We've also had some fucked up shit in the past, but how can David Dobrik and the vlog squad get a free pass at being racist, homophobic, and get this, supporting dating underage girls?
Sorry, that was gross. Like, you can't just say something in BPC. He just gets away with so much. And he's like a really, really problematic person, like an actually disgusting person like this behind the scenes, like trying to block the stuff that you did. Like,
so here it is.
Own up to it.
So
everything that was happening, and honestly the second time it was easier to kind of cope with it because I already went through it the first time.
I am totally sick of seeing my friends' names get dragged through the mud because of false allegations and lies and just things that aren't true. So I'm going to address some of those allegations and defend my friends. They haven't said anything because typically the vlog squad does not address rumors and lies and gossip because it platforms the person telling the lies.
David Dobrik has come under some harsh criticism recently due to allegations of SA brought to light by Seth Francois.
That, I just was touched by someone that, I did not, consent to having their tongue. And I'm sorry, it is a little bit hard to kind of like talk about this because like this situation, I know a lot of people because also I'm a man coming out about something that's like a sexual battery, sexual assault type of situation. So it's...
Before we get into all this is an ongoing thing. I'm just now recording it on March 5th. And this is still happening. There's a live stream going on right now, and there's a lot going on, but I just want to talk about it and start this video because there's a lot that people are ignoring, and I think we need to look back at the history to understand how we got to this point. This didn't just happen in 3 weeks. This has been happening for years, and we need to figure out who has good intentions, who has ill intentions, and if you are triggered by anything related to SA or mental health, I advise you not to watch this video or maybe skip some portions of it because that is what we will be talking about today. Let's dive into the history portion of this video. I would like to start off by saying I do not have a perfect timeline on everything that has happened. I'm only going off of what I've seen online, what I'm able to download, and a lot of videos have been deleted, so I can't tell you exactly when everything happened, but I do have evidence of everything happening. So just going into this video, if something is out of place, something happened before something else, that doesn't mean that it never happened. It just means that it might have happened at a different time. David Dobrik is a YouTuber with 18.8 million subscribers. He first was popular on Vine and then moved to YouTube. He started collaborating with other big Viners like Heath Uzar, Zain Hajazi, and they all started vlogging. And they created this squad called the Vlog Squad. I can't say the word vlog for some reason. That O just doesn't come out right, so I'm just gonna call it the squad. So we came out with this squad of everybody making YouTube videos, and this is when we introduced Jason Nash. Jason Nash was also popular on Vine, and he moved over to YouTube after Vine shut down. He is significantly older than David, and they became friends, and that's what we see today. We see them making podcasts together, things like that. Not everything in David's videos are skits. Sometimes he will post things that happen and he thinks are funny, so that's what we see in this clip. Tana Mojo is another popular YouTuber. She is featured in David's vlogs, sometimes not a lot at all, maybe like 6 or 7 out of like 500 or something like that. And we see in this clip they are sitting in a car. It's him, Jason, and Tana, and they're talking about an incident that happened in a dressing room.
These two just recently went on a date. They were in a dressing room. I don't know why they were in a dressing room together, but Jason was getting changed, and Jason thought that there was a spark in the air.
Why would she come in the dressing room with me?
It was a big dressing room. We were doing
Tana, why would you come into a dressing room?
And then this is the best part. Jason leans in for a kiss.
You're not giving all the information.
Oh yeah, you're
to
right.
Your viewers.
You're right. Tana's 19 years old.
This clip is very important to remember because it gets brought up a lot. Jason's name and Tana's name get brought up a lot, and it is very hard to keep up with all these different names if you're new to it. If you're not new to it, it's you get it, you understand, but I'm trying to make it more digestible for you. So if you can't follow along, I'm sorry, try better. But so after this, Jason and Trisha start dating. And Trisha is another YouTuber who is very problematic. She has been in a lot of drama. And this isn't pure speculation on my part. This is a fact. And as we see Trisha show up more in Jason's vlogs and David's vlogs, we see that Jason's relationship with Trisha is very toxic. You can see that a lot of things are posted, and you can see that there is a lot of hatred in both of them. It's not just Trisha, it's not just Jason. You see them they just don't mesh very well.
I thought you're into fitness. Oh, sorry. Someone did say that. I said I never abuse it to you. Your girlfriend tonight because you don't have a credit card, so I'm the sugar mom tonight. I love that. I'm a sugar mom in all my relationships, and then I kind of feel like I have a power over somebody, so I'm always like, well, you know, I gotta pay for everything. Hey!
Oh my god.
Babe, we should!
Maybe 600 pounds.
But you said you would still love me the other day if I was 600. This could be an actual mukbang then if we get another something.
She goes, would you love me if I was 250 pounds? And I was like, yes. And then she showed me a girl who was 250 pounds, and I was like, oh.
You said no.
I did?
Yeah, you're like, no.
I was like, I'd still love you. And she's like, no, you wouldn't.
The relationship isn't very rock solid, and I think everybody in the friend group and everybody that has seen the videos know that their relationship was not the best, and that is sad to see a relationship like that. Coming from both sides, it's not just a one-sided situation. From what I can tell, that is only from the videos that have been posted. I do not know what happens behind the scenes, but I can't even imagine if that's what they post online, to see what would happen behind the scenes when they're alone and closed doors. Like, that just isn't something that I couldn't even fathom probably. But Jason and Trisha start to show up in David's vlogs a lot more. We see that Trisha is being portrayed as an over-sexualized person because she talks about sex all the time. She talks about her OnlyFans. She posts nudes online. She posts herself diddling herself online. There's a lot of things that we see. And she also is kind of being portrayed as a very aggressive person because she says things like,
if we ever stop being friends, are you going to talk crap about us?
David, I have so much about you.
What would you say about me?
Oh, I'm not going to even tell you. If Jason and I break up, you better watch the fuck out.
Oh my god!
As long as me and Jason are together, I won't ever.
Jason, don't mess this up.
Get the knife.
Trisha, you can't expose us.
David, don't say don't expose us. That makes us look guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Trisha, go ahead. You have nothing anyways.
Trisha, we would never expose you.
I know, because you guys are classy. I'm not.
While Trisha and Jason are dating, we see David Dobrik post a video called He Thought He Was Kissing Her, super cringy. And in this video, we see that David's setting up a prank against one of his friends named Seth Francois, and we see that Seth thinks he's gonna have a makeout scene with Corinna, which is another member of the vlog squad. But instead, they switch out Corinna with Jason Nash. So we see in the video that Jason Nash is making out with Seth when Seth thinks it is Corinna. What we see here is David sets up the prank. He tells Seth he's gonna make out with Corinna, yet he doesn't. They go into the back room. Corinna and Jason switch clothes. Jason comes out, and then they start making out. Afterwards, they start laughing about it. Seth starts laughing about it and joking about it, and that is what we see in the video. Future Chase here, so I'm actually not allowed to show this video. I originally just blurred out the whole kissing portion of it because I wanted to respect what Seth said, but actually I can't upload any part of the vlog, so that's what you see, and that's why I have to insert myself here because it got blocked. I get why it gets blocked. I explain it more later, but continue with the video. All of this is happening in the year of 2017, and after this prank goes live, it blows up. Everybody sees it. Everybody thinks it's hilarious that one of his friends got another one of his friends to make out with another one of his friends, and we see Seth going on doing interviews about the prank because people are curious, like, how is this affecting you? Like, what do you think about this?
Before it, like, well, after it happened, like right after, I was like, you know, a part of me really was just like, man, I don't want David to post this. I was like, man, what's my family gonna think? Like, my friends, I was like, I'm gonna get shit for this, like, literally forever, you know? Like, even the fans were like, oh, yeah, you made out with him, or whatever, you know? Which still fucking happens, right? But then, like, I kind of thought about it. I was just like, you know what? Like, fuck it, because at the end of the day, I would have laughed at it if it was someone else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm the type of person, if I feel like I would laugh at something, like, don't dish anything out if you wouldn't be willing to take it. So I was just like, well, I've pranked people before. I've done some fucked up shit. So my friends, and I was like, this is definitely way more fucked up than all the shit I've done to my friends.
Brandon and all these other, I'm like, this is how these dudes fucking do it. You know, it's a culture, you know?
The thing is, like, when you see white people do it, they're like, oh, fucking white people, you know?
Yeah.
And anyone else, like us, like anyone that's not white, right? Yeah. It just like fuck, man. It's like at that moment, I feel like if I did that, bro, I don't know if I would be able to keep my temper. Like, I get fucking pissed.
No, all my friends were like, bro, you should have fucked them up. And I was like, yeah, I know I could have, but I was like, at the end of the day, it's like, one, I'm a business-minded person. I'm like, if I flip and I do some stupid shit, then it's like, you know, then I just fucking made out with a dude for fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's
already over.
If I did it, like, I might as well capitalize and I got a shout out and shit and fucking blow up my Instagram.
Oh, what's the worst gonna happen? You can just lose a girlfriend if I
fucking
find another.
No, man.
Shout out to my ex.
No, but I mean, I feel like that was a very good way of handling it. I don't know if I could have, but I feel like it was the right way.
Yeah,
I would have probably just told.
It's just being a good sport, bro. It's like, you know, it's fucked up, but you know, you gotta be a good sport.
Yeah. No, I think you handled it perfectly. I would have probably on the other hand just told him to delete that shit, but then like you said, what's the point then? Because he already did it. It happened. It's like
I was like, fuck it, you know. And I literally was like writing up a text and telling him like, yo, David, like, do not put that shit out tomorrow because and then I was just like, you know what?
Fuck it, I already did it.
I'm gonna call my mom and see what my mom thinks about this. And I called my mom. And she just started busting up laughing. I'm like, if my mom is laughing her ass off, everyone else are gonna laugh their fucking ass off.
So like I said in the beginning, the dates are very wonky because all of this was deleted. All of the podcasts were deleted. These are all re-uploads. So I can't tell you guys the exact date, but I can show you like this is what was actually said. As we see how much attention this has gathered, everybody's curious on like how did they pull it off? What is Seth's reaction after the fact? And we see that through these deleted videos. And thankfully somebody re-uploaded them so we can see what they said. But after this happened, we see that David actually posts a part 2 to this kissing video. This clip actually ended up getting blocked worldwide by David's MCN. Some people can look at that as, see, look, David doesn't want anybody looking at this video. He's trying to stop all the evidence from coming to light. But other people can look at it as, you know, Seth didn't want the video to be re-uploaded. That's why they took it down. So some people can say David's trying to stop people from re-uploading it and sharing it as much as they can because that was Seth's wishes. Same problem keeps occurring over and over again. I can't find the entire video because it has been pulled down from the entire internet. I can't find any reactions on the video. I can't find the video itself, and I can't find any re-uploads of it because it has literally been taken down. So what we see in the video is that first part that I showed you, and then we see them set up an entire fake commercial for Jack Link's beef jerky, and we see the same thing happening. Jason gets switched out for one of the other actors that's in a mask, and we see Jason and Seth start to make out again, and David comes in, spoils the entire thing, and that's basically it. I mean, that's all we see from that video. Now you may be wondering, what does Trisha think about all this? Because Jason and Trisha are said to be dating at this point in time, and we actually have video that has came to surface of Trisha's reactions on these Seth kissing pranks. And, you know, most people would think, I wouldn't want my significant other going out kissing anybody. And that's not for me to decide. If you have a relationship like that, go for it. But it doesn't seem like their relationship is like that.
She was upset that I was going to make out with Seth, and so I flipped out.
You being mad about the Seth?
Well, that's not true. I was here.
Mad about the Seth makeout thing is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I said you specifically don't have to make out with guys, girls, moms. I don't care. Like,
What if he was in a movie and he had to do that?
It's not a movie. It's David's vlogs. Nobody.
I think this clip is important to look at because it kind of shows the agenda that Ethan and Trisha are about to push. Because at the beginning of this podcast, when they're talking about this clip, Trisha mentions that she wasn't really mad about the prank and she had no idea that Seth had consent to it or not. She talks about how she was just angry because Jason was making out with somebody else. But then later in the podcast, they say something completely different and Trisha doesn't seem to correct Ethan.
I thought it was weird for a number of reasons. Mine was more like, oh, you're going to kiss this guy. Like that was what was bothering me more so than I didn't know that he wasn't like consenting to it. And was that real? Like him saying it's crazy 3 times or was that edited?
No, that's the clip, unedited. You being mad about your boyfriend making out with it. I can't say that. Bleep that. Essaying another man is crazy, Trisha. Crazy.
After this, we see that Trisha and Jason end up breaking up. And we see they break up because Trisha posts a video saying that Jason's calling her fat and it makes her feel really bad about herself. And then Jason posts a breakup video saying that's not what's going on. And then clips start surfacing of Jason insinuating that Trisha needs to stop eating so much. He either says it in a roundabout way or he just says it straight up like, hey, you need to stop eating so much, you've ate a lot today. And then after a few weeks, they end up getting back together, and Trisha starts appearing in David's vlogs again. After this happens, we see that David keeps insinuating and making jokes about how Jason, Trisha, and Tana should have a three-way together, and you can see that Trisha doesn't like these jokes.
I'll fucking buy you a Ferrari. I'll do anything. I'll be your slave for a year.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You'll buy me a Ferrari.
I can't buy a Ferrari, but I mean, I'll put a lot of money towards a Ferrari.
You'll buy me a Ferrari.
Give you $100,000 cash.
Actually?
You can make that happen. You can't run to Trisha with this piece of video and be like, Jason said, Jason said.
Damn it. Trisha, can you help me with my video? You would do anything for me?
I'd do anything for you.
Can you and Jason have a threesome with Tana?
I think she's in Australia.
Down to Tana's house and Jonah thinks he's at
Where are you?
I just got off a plane at LAX. How'd you know?
Holy shit! Oh my god! Can you please come over?
Okay.
Hi, Tana. Hi. We're in desperate times.
Yeah, I can tell.
Because you're here. This is our ask.
Okay. You know I'm like taken though, right?
Sure, whatever.
Okay, because I just feel like you're about to ask me to fuck someone.
No.
Okay.
Would you have a threesome with Jason and Trisha? More than
You know,
just.
I've never had a threesome.
It's
I'm saving that for marriage.
It's. How do you feel about Jason wanting to have a threesome with you?
But why me, Jason? You could have do better.
Because he likes broken girls.
Wait.
Is that true or true? Do you ever have a threesome?
It doesn't like entice me as much.
Tana just called actually. She wanted to.
Again, not interested. Trisha, put your fucking clothes on. It's not funny. It's
You
not.
want to have a Tana joke? I'm going to have
David said that. I didn't say anything.
You made that joke.
I made what joke?
That'd be so funny for the vlog. You know what else would be funny for the vlog?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This relationship is over. I'm done.
Guys, her dress is literally off. Oh my god! Natalie, are you seeing this?
You think it's so funny to make a threesome joke.
Go in there and fucking stay in there. I didn't make the joke. He did. I don't want to have a threesome with Tana.
Guys, chill. This is the stupidest fucking fight ever. She doesn't like Tana jokes. Drop it. And you should stop getting naked in my house.
Okay.
And they're back. Jason, I know this fight's really intense and stuff, but would you have a threesome with Tana?
No, I wouldn't. Maybe.
These jokes seem to be reoccurring in the vlog, and after a while, Trisha has had enough of these jokes. She has voiced that she doesn't like them, and they keep making jokes about it, so her and Jason end up actually breaking up, and to my knowledge, they break up indefinitely. They don't get back together, and we see that she is very upset about this. She ends up posting a breakup video, but in her breakup video, she talks about David, Jason, but she also brings up an entirely different scenario. She brings up Brandon Calvillo. He was also an ex-Viner. He was always in the vlog squad. You see him in plenty of David's videos, and she comes out and she says that Brandon's been dating a 17-year-old that's still in high school, and that David has said that this is all okay. And this is where you kind of see her really attacking the vlog squad and really going after everybody that is a part of that group.
Like, also, there's people dating Brandon in their friend group was dating a high schooler last year. She was 17 years old. And when I would talk about this with, like, David, he would literally be like, oh, see, it's a big deal. He's 24, like, she's 17, like, you know, just because it's the law, like, a year, like, 6 months, in 6 months she'll be 18. I'm like, it's disgusting. Like, people have found this out, and, like, Brandon will call David and be like, oh, like, you gotta delete these comments about her age and stuff like that, because she was in high school when they started, like, dating and hooking up. Like, it's this whole, like, weird thing. And I've told.
After these allegations came out, Brandon and his girlfriend talked about it. They came out with a video explaining their situation, saying that she was 18 and they waited till she was 18 to start dating or doing anything. And I have no idea whether that's true or false. I can only take it surface level and be like, sure, they're telling the truth. There has been videos disputing it, saying that they're lying, but I have no idea. I don't know these people. I just know it's posted online. So after all this happens, Trisha says that, you know, the allegations are true. They're lying, but I like I said, I have no idea. After this whole allegation came out, Trisha posts another video talking about another member of the vlog squad named Jeff. She says that Jeff walked into the Starbucks, saw her, and just left. Jeff talks about it on a podcast, and Trisha responds to the podcast saying, you can't even say my name. I can't believe you just leave. leave. You're not that tough. I don't care if you went to prison. Like, you can't face little old me. And Trisha responds, and she talks about how she feels about the situation.
Hi, Jeff. It's me, Trish, the person that you can't name. He goes on, we'll keep it going. But hi, it's me, Trish, that person you don't respect. Guess what? I have actually zero respect for you. Literally, you just piggybacked off David, and once David moves on or doesn't need you in the vlogs anymore, like so many other people he's done, you two will be irrelevant. You're lucky you have a little podcast and all that cute stuff, so at least I say your name. But let's keep going because he tries to get real tough here.
During this whole fiasco, we see Trisha starts throwing out even more accusations that David told Jason that they weren't allowed to hang out. Trisha and Jason were still friends at this time, I guess, and still talking, trying to be friends. And David apparently, allegedly, says that Jason shouldn't be talking to Trisha because all the drama surrounding her.
Or are you talking about the David incident where I called him, like, evil? Because me and Jason were still friends up until May 8th, 3 months after that whole ordeal happened. But I wasn't allowed to park near his house because David and crew, he's like, oh, no one can know we're friends because I called out and I called them out. I fucked over your friends because David and Jason both continuously made jokes about a threesome that I wasn't comfortable with, about a child. Tana Mongeau was fucking 19 years old, about a child.
And that is the summed up history of Trisha and the Vlog Squad. That is all the drama that we're seeing today in 2021. All this stuff has been happening since like 2017, so it's been like 3 or 4 years now, and not many people know the whole background, and not many people have seen all of these clips, and I feel like it's very important to understand, like, all these clips happened. This is what has been going on for a very, very long time. Trisha has been the most outspoken person in the entire situation. And now let's move on to present day. This is where I'll be inserting my opinion about a lot of it. The one thing I don't want to insert my opinion on is the whole race stuff, because I don't feel like I'm in the right position to put my opinion out about race stuff, because if you haven't checked, I'm white, and my opinion isn't really, I'm not going to say it's not valid, but I don't feel like I can consciously give a good input on it because I don't know how it feels to be somebody of a different skin color. At the end of 2020, we see that Trisha and Ethan of H3H3 Productions create a podcast called Frenemies. Right off the bat, people are like, hey, this is a bad idea. Trisha has some screws that are loose, and I don't think you should really be diving into this with her. And even though all the criticism they got, they still started it, and we saw the backlash of it because Trisha in a few of the episodes kind of goes off on Ethan and Hila. Hila is Ethan's wife, and she calls out Hila for being the C word. She brings up Ethan having past pill problems, and she also talks about how they were terrible parents.
You do hide the crazy.
I'm all out there with no fucking eyebrows and everything.
You were into pills. You never talk about that you were a pill addict for a minute.
What?
Yeah, you said that. You said you were really into pills, and you don't talk about that.
Why do I need to talk about that?
Because that's being open. That you're judging me for being crazy. Call me crazy,
but here's
which
what you
means
do.
I'm off
You know what you
medication.
just did? You're trying to see. This is why you are such a dangerous person, especially to be close with, because you'll take something that I've told you. You'll take something that somebody told you in confidence, and you'll use it. You'll weaponize it against them.
That's not true.
That's what you just did.
When I have a kid, I'm not gonna have nannies. That's for damn sure.
What does that mean? You're not gonna have a babysitter when you have a kid? How are you gonna do anything? You're gonna. What does that mean? You're trying to attack our parental abilities?
Let's just move on. There's no attack. I just made a comment.
There's something wrong with having a nanny?
In my eyes, yes. Don't talk about me on the podcast. All I said was you should have the guest. He's like, we can't mention Hila. She doesn't want me to talk about, oh, she's too good for a fucking podcast, even though we were talked about. They never once consulted me at the beginning of spring. She has a fucking podcast. I brought life to the fucking H3 channel, but oh, Hila's too fucking good to even mention her name. I said nothing bad. I said like, oh, we should have her as a guest or whatever like that. Don't even mention Hila. She doesn't want to be talked about. Fucking
Okay.
I literally don't care. Literally, I don't want to come back because I really fucking hate her.
You
have no fucking backbone.
All right, you should leave. We'll talk later. Yeah, you should get out.
I am going, but
Yeah.
we're not talking later. Fucking bitch, you too. I don't care. Fucking dummy. I couldn't care less. Your family's
It's not about dumping.
And this is how the podcast became to be. This is how it gathered so much attention. And at the time of these clips, Trisha was dating Ethan's wife's brother. And now they are engaged. The podcast did have a rough start, but since then they have apologized and they've reconciled and it became to be what it is today. Now I think it's time to move on to the Vlog Squad situation, because Trisha in the podcast did attack the Vlog Squad here and there, but it really, really blew up when they had Big Nick, a former Vlog Squad member, onto the podcast to interview him about his experiences working with them.
That's just
I mean, you deserve respect as much as anybody there, and I feel like...
And I appreciate that. And honestly, that does mean a lot, because, like, that's all I just wanted to hear is, like, dude, you deserve respect just like everyone else. And it's like,
I think this interview is very, very important to see what happens in the near future, because he talks about what the squad is like, and he talks about how it feels being actually in it versus being outside of it. Because when he's in it, he says it was very demeaning, demoralizing. He says it's very toxic. It's very high school cliquey versus like kind of like a little bit of like a cultish vibe. And I think that people overlook this interview because the Seth interview is next, and that's what blows the case wide open. That's when people are only attacking David, and it kind of turns the entire narrative of it, because in this interview he talks about how Trisha has her own agenda and that what she's saying is 50-50 and you can't really trust everything that she says.
Trisha describes being there as like kind of toxic. Would you describe it that way?
It is. I think she has her own agenda, but she's not entirely wrong with all the stuff she says, but she's not always accurate. It's like 50-50, but it is kind of like a cult. Yeah, it's like a high school vibe, very cultish like vibe, and you can kind of feel it. Like even when I would like film with people afterwards, I would come home so drained, like just mentally. And it wasn't necessarily, I mean, maybe it was because some of the stuff they were saying, but like it was just really the energy in the room. Like it just felt like really demonic energy. I couldn't explain it at the time. And
in this interview, Big Nick doesn't really call out anybody specifically. He just mentions the Vlog Squad as a whole. He refers to them as like them, they, those guys, this group. And the only two people's character that he puts his 2 cents in is Jason and Scotty. He says that they're great guys. If Big Nick was being picked on a little bit too much, they'd hop in and be like, hey guys, you guys need to like cut it out. Like, leave Big Nick alone for the day. He's had enough. And I think that's really great to have somebody in a friend group that does that. But painting Big Nick as this huge victim that everybody was picking on and he needed other people to stand up for him is just not okay. Because one, you're making Big Nick look like he can't defend himself, which he can. We've seen in the vlogs that Big Nick sticks up for himself. It's kind of like friendly, what we perceived as friendly banter. You see one person making fun of his height, and then you see him going back at it. And you see this happening a lot in the vlogs. So for me, it's hard to understand when Big Nick comes out saying like everybody was being rude to me, because we see this happening where one person is rude to somebody else, they're rude to them, and you don't really know where the line is drawn, because we're not in this friend group. We don't know what oversteps the line. We don't know when people get mad or if it's just jokes.
Be honest with me, I know you like keeping this a secret, but what superpowers did you get when you became a dwarf?
Okay. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
Big Nick, when the radioactive spider bit you, what?
I'll give you one superpower that I'm really good at: slapping the fuck out of your ugly face.
Oh, and extremely bad jokes.
Yeah. Hey, just getting some titties tonight. What's in there, dude? How old is she, dude? Oh, you got twins. I can't be on camera.
Why?
You have to talk to my manager.
Who's your manager?
Myself.
Fucking Subway where you work, bitch.
I never worked that job ever, bro. The only job I work is fucking your mom.
At least I don't look like a fucking 6-inch Subway.
You're a sperm cell compared to me, bro.
Yo, your mom knows what my sperm cell looks like.
Alright, my mom doesn't fucking date lesbians.
No, bitch, you ain't never been with a woman.
I'm not bringing these clips up to be like, ooh, see, look, I gotcha. You were making fun of other people too. I'm bringing these clips up to show you that it wasn't just a one-way street. It wasn't just everybody make fun of Big Nick for being short. It was back and forth. He was making fun of people for being fat. Like, everybody in this group seems to pick on each other's weaknesses, and it seemed at the time that everything was okay and everybody was fine with it. I think it is very unfair to say that this is proof that their friend group is toxic, because we don't know what happens within the friend group. We don't know the behavioral and psychological processes that go inside this personal social group. And I think it's hard for people on the outside looking in to understand, like, why would somebody want to be made fun of? Why would somebody want to make fun of somebody else? And sometimes that's just how social groups work. That's how their group seems to be functioning, and they've gotten a lot of success from it. So you can't be going around talking about how toxic this group is just because you've seen some clips online of them making fun of people. Because at the time, it seemed like everybody was okay with making fun of everybody's weaknesses. And we can sit out on the outside and we can judge that as much as we want, but we can't say that is finite proof that their friend group is toxic and that we should cancel them for it. After the Big Nick interview, people started talking about it a little bit. People started thinking, maybe this group of vloggers isn't who we thought they were, and that's when the absolute bombshell dropped. That is when the Seth interview came out with H3H3.
It's like people say, I don't want this out there. And instead of respecting their wishes and understanding that it makes them uncomfortable, he turns it into a money thing. And money is power, right? That's influence. He's trying to influence them to do something they don't want to do. Like how much...
Especially when a friend is telling you that they're dealing with legitimate pain.
Yeah.
And then your next motive is to be like, oh, well, how much money do you want?
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to keep it up. It's like, I don't want the money. I want respect.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
When talking about a situation that involves SA, it is very, very hard because you don't want to nullify someone's experience, because then you just turn into that person that is victim blaming, and that's not what I'm going to do. And I don't want to be portrayed as someone who listens to a victim's story and says you're lying. But this whole situation has turned into guilty until you're proven innocent. And people say the proof is in the pudding. You look at the video and you tell me, this isn't SA. And unfortunately, by definition, it is not. And I know it sounds so bad, but people keep referring this as SA when it's not. And I don't want to say that this person wasn't infected by it, because they were. And I don't want to say this wasn't illegal, because it was. This is just your classic case of assault. It is an assault. It is not an SA. And that is what has been said throughout this entire thing. That is what everybody's pushing, when that's not the truth. And if you just simply Google it, you can figure out the actual answer. And I watched somebody as a lawyer speak on this situation, and I think she put it best.
What happened is horrible to do to a person. You don't trick a person into doing anything. And when it comes to tricking someone in a sexual way, this could happen in lots of different ways. Consent by trick is not consent. But for it to be actually a criminally actionable, there has to be sexual intent. So is the intent sexual, or was the intent to humiliate? I think the argument becomes the intent was to trick. The intent was not sexual.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because Ethan and Trisha have been saying that it's SA this entire time, and it's just not fair to report on a story and be wrong about what's actually happening, because there's a lot of things that Ethan and Trisha say in their podcast that are just not correct, and usually they don't correct what's happening, and it gets to a point where it's kind of irritating, because you're listening to these podcasts and you're listening to people talk about, this is what happened, it is SA, and I can't believe you do this, this person needs to go to jail. It's just like, that's not what's happening. And later on in her video, she talks about it's a civil case, it's not a criminal case. And I just can't go on with them spewing out lies after lies and turning it to make it fit their agenda. Because yes, I am a fan of David Dobrik, but I'm also a fan of H3. I have their merch. I have both people's merch, and I've followed them throughout their entire career. And this is the only time that I've spoke out on H3H3 being wrong in a situation. And it's a very, very important situation, because nobody really corrects what they have to say. They just kind of go off. And they refer to David as this power-hungry person that's having their fans attack people, but that is what Trisha and Ethan have been doing as well. They want their fans to go and attack David. They want them to go and, they want David to speak out about it, and it's gotten to a point where it's like, is this a witch hunt, or are you actually wanting justice? This next clip I'm going to show you is about Seth talking about how he went to David, asking him, hey, can you take the videos down? And he said he offered him money. He said, hey, can I keep it up? Which is not the right way to deal with a situation when somebody's uncomfortable with the video. And Seth says, why don't we talk about this behind the scenes, David? Insinuating that David Dobrik didn't want to talk to Seth about this situation.
And to have to address this, because if anything, me and David, we should, when the fans were saying like, why don't you guys have a conversation behind the scene? I'm like, exactly. Why don't we have a conversation behind the scenes, David?
This is a very misleading statement because there's an old podcast clip with Dirty Dom, which is an ex-member of the Vlog Squad, and Seth, and they talk about this exact same situation. And Seth says that he texted Jason and David, and he said, hey, can you take these videos down? He said he touched on the race stuff and the kissing prank stuff, and he said, this isn't a good look for me. I don't really like how it makes me seem, which is a completely fair thing to say. But he never brings up the money part. He never brings up how David offered him money, which I would think is a very important thing to mention when talking about the situation, because that kind of turns everything on its head. That makes David look really, really, really bad. And he kind of just didn't talk about this when the first time he came out about it. So it's kind of hard for me to see a resemblance when we see kind of holes in his story. We see him leaving stuff out. We see him not keeping up with the same facts that he brought forth on the H3 podcast.
I need to say something. So I texted Jason and David.
And which one? This was the kissing video or like all the videos?
The kissing video. So when I talked to him, like I touched on like the race stuff.
Okay.
Like I was just
and
like, you made me look like
were
this.
Still up then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, I touched on the race stuff. I was like, yeah, like that stuff like made me feel uncomfortable. Like I have my family and I'm representing, my family and my culture, and it's just like it's just not a good look. I have other things I'm trying to move on to, but. I also wasn't trying to, once again, be the problem guy. It's like, oh, well, I also want you to take down this video. I want you to take down this video. I want you to take down this video. Because then he might just be like, fuck it. I'm just going to take down every single video you're in and just erase you from this whole platform. This video has actually caused me trauma. And I feel like I'm not who I was before I made these videos. And I really want to get back to that. So I really want to move forward by just having these videos taken down.
Okay, got it. And so what ended up happening? He took all the videos down?
Yeah.
Okay, so he took all the watermelon and all the like racist bits, and then he took down the Jason video.
No, it was the Jason videos that he took down first.
That interview is only like 30 something minutes long, and that is a very, very small portion of the podcast. And I actually, if you have time, go back and watch it, because he actually puts out some pretty good insight on how he felt being the only African American in the group, and he also touches on other race issues that I think are very important, especially in today's society. After the Seth interview, the Frenemies podcast turned into talking about everything that David Dobrik's ever done wrong podcast, which I completely understand wanting to be critical of somebody, but it doesn't seem like they want justice. It doesn't seem like they want anything like that. They want a witch hunt. They want this person to be canceled for everything that he's ever done, and I don't think that's fair. I think people change. I think people move on, and taking accountability is a huge step. And they say that David Dobrik has never taken accountability for anything, but he actually has talked about it on an old podcast, and you guys say you do your research. You guys say, I've seen everything, but you never talk about it. You never say, well, he did mention it on his podcast. You just say he's never taken accountability for any drama that he's been involved in.
But I think there's parts of this where I need to be more serious, because I want to be a good role model for the people watching. And I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed about some of the things I did in videos or in Vines or whatever I was doing. And I genuinely feel awful about it, and I'm going to do better actively, and I'm going to do that consistently, and you have my word for that, and I promise that. And if I'm anything, I'm a man of my word. And I just want to say that if there was a kid who saw something from me that didn't make them feel welcomed or just made them feel uncomfortable, I'm sorry. I did not ever mean to make anybody feel out of place. I genuinely just want to make you have a good time, and I'm going to do that from here on out, and I'm going to do a better job at it.
I think there's a difference between acknowledging that someone has apologized and criticizing their apology. Because acknowledging their apology, you can say, yes, I understand he had apologized, but it was on his podcast. Not a lot of people watch that, not as much as they watch his YouTube channel. Or he didn't seem sincere, he wasn't on video. You can say that even. But you can't sit around and say he has never apologized for what he has done, because he has, and you can see it. You guys have the exact same resources, if not more than I do, and then you guys just completely ignore that he's ever apologized.
The racist jokes and stuff, I don't think it was like super, super, super bad. Just, kind of in bad taste.
I don't think it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have like a comment. I think it's bad, but I also think you should take like accountability. Everyone else has to. You just can just like skim.
Other people.
As the H3H3 podcast continues to go on, more and more evidence keeps coming out about the kissing prank and stuff like that. And that's when we see a old podcast clip from David's podcast where he talks about the entire situation, the entire first kissing prank. And Trisha and Ethan use this as a talking point, saying that this is evidence that it was racially motivated. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to get into anything about race because I'm not the right person to talk about that with, but I do want to say that there is an argument against it. There is people saying that it wasn't racially motivated, they were just giving Seth's background, but I'm not going to make that argument because I don't want it to seem like that is my views and my standpoint, because I'm not a person that can make that judgment call.
Seth's from Compton.
Dudes kissing dudes is not so acceptable.
Seth's from Compton, so it's like the perfect, like
these straight dudes kissing
it's literally
straight
the
dudes.
perfect setup. Like a guy from Compton, and I made him make out with another older man.
It's good for Seth. It gets him some airtime, and
Seth was really
gets him.
Dude, this is so
It gets him
twisted,
airtime.
bro. Kissing other dudes is not acceptable. He's from Compton. I know that about him. Which does confirm that he did, because we know he specifically targeted him.
Yeah.
And I think this all but confirms he did it because he's black and he's from Compton. He literally just admit that.
Mhm.
It couldn't be a more perfect setup. A guy from Compton making out with an older guy.
Yeah.
I think I can confidently say that the very first kissing prank was an assault. There could be evidence that comes out later showing that I'm completely wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think that there's going to be any evidence to prove that Seth had consent to that very first kissing prank. But I think Trisha is using this to build her own credibility. She's lumping in her baseless accusations with Seth's confirmable accusations, because Trisha just keeps adding more and more to it, and there's no evidence to back her claims up. She says that she has receipts, she says that she has evidence, but she refuses to show any of the evidence proving that she's not lying. So maybe in the future she could come out with receipts proving me wrong, that, everything that she's saying is true, but why wouldn't she do that in the first place? For an example, she talks about a situation where Joe and Jonah are out back sunbathing at David's house, and she walks into the picture and she said that they flashed her and it made her feel really uncomfortable. But if we go back and we look at David's vlogs, it doesn't seem that way.
They made
in the vlogs, like he'd be like, "Jonah, pull your pants down," and people would just like laugh and be like, "Ah!" Like it's
What?
in the vlogs, and he did it, and like Jonah would be like weird
Oh my
about
God,
it.
why is he? That's like sexual.
I didn't want to see it. I got flashed. I never asked for it. I was like, and then there was like a bit where like, it's Joe was like sunbathing with like David or someone else, and they were like naked, and like I'm like they were constantly like flashing people, but Jonah did it a lot, and I was just like, how is that okay? Like exposing yourself, like it's so crazy. So, anyways, my point is like watching this makes me physically sick because they thought it was.
Oh my God, guys. Yo.
Hey, David.
Hey, guys.
I thought you left.
Are you guys butt naked?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm not opening my eyes.
Guys, what are you doing?
We're gonna head out. Do you want a foot long?
No.
Oh my God, what's so gross?
Fuck you. Why are you being a slut and eyeing me clearly?
So weird. It's not like Todd and Scott. It's like Joe and Jonah.
What do you think of Jonah's penis?
I haven't looked.
Why? It's okay.
You know what I always say? People look better naked. 100% without clothes on. They look so much better. Okay.
That's enough. Just want to take off her clothes and just fucking start an orgy.
No! Wow. Joe doesn't care. Look at Joe. He just doesn't care. Look how big his balls are.
Get out of
It's
here.
a bit. It's for David's vlog.
I don't give a
crap what it is, you pervert.
I'm going to insert my opinion because this clip really pissed me off. Like, you really need to verify what you have to say. And I can prove, and I just proved, that you lied about an entire situation. And it doesn't hurt anybody's credibility but Seth's. You said that you were uncomfortable and that you got flashed, but in the video, you wanted to join them. You wanted to take your clothes off with them. You stayed out there. Jason tries to shuffle you away, and you just avoid him so you can stay out there. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that you should be able to go on such a big platform and say lies like this. It happens all the time on your podcast, and I'm going to show more examples of it, but like, you need to hold Ethan, you need to hold Trisha accountable, because at this point, it's not hurting anybody but Seth. If you want justice for Seth, then get justice for Seth, but don't keep adding false accusations and baseless accusations without verifying it and without having evidence to prove that what you're saying is correct and that you aren't lying.
I'm like, he's an actual like pedophile, and we're actually like, and he's like 24.
Having sex with a 17-year-old isn't pedophilia.
It's pedophilia for sure.
It's
with
for
a minor for sure was. That's an actual pedophile. Like, it's a child. 17-year-old is a child.
So, okay, whatever. I don't need to debate that, but it's illegal.
It's a pedophile.
Well, pedophile is someone that has sex with kids.
She's a child. That's a child.
But you don't magically become not a child when you go turn from when the clock ticks midnight.
That actually is like how it works. Yeah. Like, you also have no business being with like an 18-year-old, but like 17 is an actual child. It's actually legal. Like, you actually should go to jail.
But, okay, well, I'm not here to debate that, but some states it's 16.
But it's not that in California.
I know it's illegal. It's fun, and also old guys shouldn't be creeping on 17-year-olds.
Trisha and Ethan keep piling on more and more accusations against the Vlog Squad, and David Dobrik specifically, and finally we see a member from the squad named Scotty Sire respond to everything, and it went over exactly how you thought it would. In Scotty's video, he talks about how he's sick and tired of his friends' names being dragged through the mud, and then he goes on to talk about David and Jason's character, and then he shows some new evidence that we haven't seen of David Dobrik talking, and he says he went through his old phone and he found old text messages with Seth talking about how he wanted to do the kissing prank for a third time.
Guys, this is a text from Seth from about 2 years ago. He goes, "Yo, bro, I was thinking about it. I'm down for another kissing sketch." I said, "Haha, what do you mean?" He goes, "Lol, I don't really care as long as you clout me up. I'm not gay, just don't care." And then he sends me this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not really a big deal. I mean, it's the same shit. Just, I don't know. More open-minded.
Later on in the video, Scotty talks about how Seth needs to take accountability for posting revenge pee against their friend Aaron because she said the N-word in this video and she was completely naked, and Seth publicized it and put it in his video about accountability to all creators, and I don't think that's right. Yes, I understand you want her to take accountability. The way you went about it wasn't great, but at the same time, I understand why you wanted her to take accountability. I understand why you wanted that to get out and you wanted her to respond to it, which she did. And I also think that people are using this as a point of saying that Scotty was victim blaming, and I don't think that's why he brought it up. I think it just revolved around the entire conversation about consent, and either way, nothing in this situation really makes sense, and nothing in this situation, nobody's 100% right, nobody's 100% wrong, and I feel like we need to understand that. And also, we need to talk about Trisha actually retweeted the video of Aaron being naked, but I don't see them ever confronting Trisha about it. I see it online. I see people posting it under their tweets, so I don't understand why we're just ignoring that as well. Why doesn't she have to take accountability for what she did? And I think if we're gonna hold one person accountable, we need to hold everybody accountable. This video gathered a lot of attention, and then people started kind of running with it because David did send a video of him showing those text messages, so everybody just said that this is David's response. David told Scotty to come out and make this video because Scotty's their most liked friend, and you have no evidence for that. You just make it up. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, you can't just be throwing stuff out that is not true, like I've been saying. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, why should I believe anything that Trisha says? Because a lot of the things she says are either over-exaggerated or just lies. So it's like, what do I believe? That's why I feel like a lot of people are in this situation, and why a lot of people don't really want to come out and talk about it, because they're like, we don't know what to believe. We know both sides lie. We know everybody lies. And nobody's coming out with receipts and evidence to prove that they are correct. And especially for this, it's just like, why lie? What is the point of it? Later on in Scotty's video, he shows a clip of Seth sticking his butt into Jason's face, and people instantly thought the worst of why Scotty was showing this video. They instantly thought, you know, you can't compare sticking your butt into someone's face to making out with somebody. And I don't really think that's why he showed that clip. And this is just my opinion, but I think he showed the clip to show the group dynamic. Because right now, we're only seeing one side of the coin. We're only seeing people who don't like David, and we're only seeing people who are very biased in the situation. So if you look at it from the other side of the coin, you can look at it as he's showing like, we're just a bunch of guys making YouTube videos. We're all trying to embarrass each other online. We're all trying to make a fool of each other, and we're all trying to grow together. And I don't think people really took it that way. People took it more as Scotty's sitting here victim blaming. He's trying to talk down on people that have gone through traumatic experiences. And knowing what Trisha and Ethan and other people from the vlog squad have said about Scotty, he's a pretty nice guy. But after Scotty came out with this video, Trisha instantly turned on him, even though she has talked only good things about him. And then right when he comes out and speaks out about this entire situation, she flips on him and she starts accusing him of being a piece of shit, even though she has said on numerous occasions that she likes the guy and he's actually really nice, he's quiet, and he keeps to himself, and he's unproblematic.
Zoloft, Prozac, Lexapro. Oh, yeah, all those things.
Why do you just sing a song by antidepressants?
It's a song by one of the people from the vlog squad. Scotty Sire has one called
Oh, really?
Zoloft, Prozac, Lexapro, all things that I tried before. Like, it's like a rap. He talks about being sad all the time.
Oh.
Shout out Scotty Sire.
Is beyond me, because if anything, Scott looked really good to people that like know David and Jason, because he mentioned both of them, and also to like the audience. People just know Scott as being rather unproblematic, including myself. I've always said like Scott was really nice, really unproblematic, like never, I don't know, there's just never any issue with him because he's just quiet and nice.
Because I was like, first of all, Scotty, neither did your career. Nobody literally knows who you are anymore. No one even knew who you were in the vlogs, including Scott.
Haven't you already gone all the way off?
Scott, how about you doing drugs and having sex with while Jason's kids are in your house? They all live together. And
here we go. We're going
drugs and have Zane, Todd, you guys bring girls home while Jason's kids are right next to you, bedroom next to each other. Jason's down here, and Todd and Jason's son and daughter are right here, and they're Todd's banging girls, doing coke, like all this shit. How about that? Address that shit.
Like, this kind of speaks levels to Trisha's character, because at one point she can call you a good person and say you're unproblematic, and then the next point apparently she has some sort of dirt on you that you had no idea about. So it's just like, why should we believe her if at one moment she's saying somebody's good and then the next moment she says she has receipts to prove that they're bad? So it's just like, I don't think that we should ever listen to what Trisha has to say. And I know that sounds really bad, but it's just like, it's just time and time again throughout her entire time on YouTube, we have seen that she is very problematic and she lies. But yet in this David situation, we're still supposed to believe her. She's thrown out so many baseless accusations without providing any evidence, and people just blindly follow her. And that's just ridiculous. It got to a point where like I started writing down the accusations that she accuses people of, and a lot of them have zero evidence, and the only person that is talking about it is her. So I have a board here with Trisha's accusations, and I'm gonna go through it. She says the vlog squad is racist. I already talked about, David talks about on his podcast that he apologizes for his remarks and they missed the mark and he is sorry and he'll do better. She calls Brandon Calvillo a pedo. He's not a pedo. Ethan even tries to correct you and you refuse to listen to what he has to say. You also say it's SA. I already proved it's not SA. It's actually just assault. You say that drugs were done next to Jason's kids and sex. A big thing you talk about is like they were fucking in the room and their kids were right there. That has nothing to do with Toddy and them. I mean, parents have sex all the time with their kids still in the house, and you're saying that's wrong? It just doesn't make sense. And the drugs part, again, you have zero evidence to back up your claims. They're just baseless accusations. Even if they are true, you have no evidence to prove that. And if you do, please show it. You said that David sent Scotty out to respond for him because Scotty is the nice friend of the group. Zero evidence, baseless accusation, again. You say that Brandon dated a minor. Yes, you can make an argument for that, but then again, they came out and proved that apparently she was 18 when they started talking, and you still say, nope, that's not what happened. It's just like, Who the fuck are you to tell other people what actually happened? You says that it's a cult. I'm not even going to deep dive into the actual definition of a cult, but a cult is a very strong word. I'd say it's more like a high school clique, because a high school clique and a cult are completely different, even though they share similarities. You also say that you also get, oh, this one's good. You get pissed because you're saying that David's blocking clips from re-uploading. You and Ethan both talk about this. Have you ever thought about the reason why he's blocking them from getting re-uploaded? Didn't Seth say he wanted those videos taken down? Don't you think David, why don't you ever just like look and be like, maybe David is doing it because, I don't know, Seth didn't want them up in the first place. Why don't you ever talk about that? Instead, you just instantly say, oh, David doesn't want to get exposed. He doesn't want to do that. It's just like, whose side are you on? Do you want Seth's videos that he doesn't want uploaded on the internet? Do you still want those up? I don't think so. And then also, you say that Scotty threatened to sue you guys. Look at the clip. He doesn't even say that. And then this is the most new accusation that absolutely blew my mind. You guys can see I'm kind of heated, and throughout the entire video, I tried to keep my cool. But now, at this point, I'm just fucking pissed. This biggest accusation that Trisha proposed, which I've never heard about, I don't understand. Trisha says that there's a video out there of David ripping off someone's hijab. That's big. That's not something you can just throw out there and then not talk about again. Let's see the video of it. I would love for you to prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. But I don't think you can prove me wrong. I don't. And if you do, I'll man up and say you did. But I don't think you can.
Oh, just told me I can't wear Muslim scarves. I wanted to wear one. He said don't.
You want to wear like a hijab or whatever?
I like the way they. Yeah. Oh, no, that's a whole.
That's a lot. I wouldn't do that.
No,
for
but
sure.
There's a story about David and Jason like ripping off someone's hijab. Have you seen that one? Like,
What?
Yeah.
No. Why? Was it real
To make
or
fun of,
bad?
yeah. And the girl like came forward to me and stuff, but it was also like on video, like in a
What?
vlog. Yeah. I guess they took it down. Look at. I think it's on video.
That's
It's, like,
not
real-
funny at all. That's so rude.
Yeah, she was like, I was like mortified, and Jason did it. Jason ripped it off. I'm telling you, Jason's gonna be distance next. Watch it.
Right now, Trisha and Ethan have made it impossible for anybody to try to stick up for David or make any valid defense for him. And that's pretty much why I'm making this video, because no matter what David does, they're going to sit there and criticize it and say he has the worst intentions. Like his whole puzzle thing that he came out with. Everybody's calling it a scam. And even your own producers, Ethan, even your own producers called you out and was like, hey, you can't call it a scam.
You don't want to kid. Come on. You know I'm making points here.
I don't know.
What?
I mean,
What's the color?
It's a sweepstakes. They didn't invent sweepstakes. Companies do this all the time. I agree. It's shady and definitely shady.
A sweepstake is a bullshit way to sell lottery tickets.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but sweepstakes are also regulated. You're not allowed.
That's what I'm saying, and this likely is too. And when you're saying it's not regulated, I don't necessarily.
But how is there a deadline? And so you're saying there's a chance they don't give away the grand prize?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and that's what I understand.
Well, I don't think the people who are buying this think that's possible.
This is the first time I've made a documentary style video like this, and D'Angelo Wallace actually inspired me to make a video like this because I love his videos, and I understand that he doesn't take the same opinion as I do on this situation, because I believe that David is more innocent, because a lot of the stuff I've shown you, I feel like Trisha has just gone on a huge hit piece. A lot of the evidence only focuses towards her story being correct, and you don't really explore both sides. And I feel like they've made it a place where you're not allowed to explore both sides. You can't go against somebody who has been through an assault. And I don't think my video focuses more on that, because yes, Seth did go through an assault and I feel terrible for the guy. But that doesn't mean that Trisha can keep adding more and more of her accusations as if they're true because what happened to Seth is true. I feel like she's hiding behind Seth's accusations just to make herself and her credibility go up, and that's disgusting. You're benefiting off of somebody's traumatic experiences, and so are you, Ethan. You haven't said you're going to donate the money to somewhere else, but you have complained about how you're getting demonetized, and that sucks because not many people see the video, and I just want people seeing Seth's opinion. Did you pay Seth for anything? I didn't see you mention anything about it. Did you donate any money to any SA foundations? I didn't hear anything about it. Why didn't you say it? Because you still have ads running on your videos, and I think that's kind of disgusting. If you're gonna talk about SA, you should probably not try to profit off it and get as much money as you can, because you're still getting paid, and I don't think that's right. If you want to come out and say what you've donated to and prove me wrong, I'd really appreciate it. But I don't understand why you wouldn't do it now. I don't want you to feel guilty because I'm calling you out. I want you to actually want to do it, not feel like I'm pressuring you to do it. Because what you guys are doing is pressuring people into thinking that David Dobrik's a terrible person when, yeah, people make mistakes in the past. He does need to take accountability, but that doesn't mean he's an evil person that runs a cult. And be careful in using the word cult. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I really am. But it's just kind of like annoying because nobody's able to actually come out and talk about it without having to be scared that they have to defend themselves, because you guys have made it a place where attacking people's sponsors is okay. And that's not okay. You want people to actually know what they did wrong and grow from it, but you're not giving them that chance. You're literally just trying to kick them into existence because Trisha is bitter. I said it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you really liked it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tag Trisha and Ethan because I'd love to see their response to this video, because me being a small creator, I don't think they'll see it. And if they see it, I hope they respond to it on H3H3 After Dark. And if you guys really want, if Ethan gives me the offer, I will come on the podcast and I'll defend my point for you guys, because I really want to know what you guys think. Thank you so much. And peace out, girls. I haven't done that in so long. See you later.
I've been waiting for my moment just to bury my opponents, and never been regarded as a rapper, only seen through as a young whippersnapper trying to make it to the top. Hopping on the mic with the reverend, know for sure it's gonna drop. So I chopped you out, took your chance and missed without a doubt. So I gotta keep living life as a lesson and learn from my own progression, while all you soulless bastards are trying to relieve your sins. When you weep into the pasture, bro, it's the reverend going in and I take you on this journey that will recreate your mind. It's my own little story, bro, and you'd be lucky to fit the line, 'cause I've been through a lot.